Hi everyone, and welcome to this final video in this little series on writing an essay on A Christmas Carol. Today we are looking at conclusions. Here is our question. It's about how Scrooge is an unlikable character. And in our conclusion, we're going to do two things. First of all, we're going to assertively answer the question, and secondly, we're going to address a key concept. Now, often students ask me how a conclusion is different from an introduction. In an introduction, we kind of set up the question, we outline the hypothesis, the thesis, the idea that we're going to test. And then in the middle section of the essay, the P paragraphs, that's where we test that hypothesis. Imagine you were doing a science experiment. You say, well, let's see if this will happen when I mix these two chemicals together. That's your introduction. And then you mix the chemicals together and do the experiment. That's your P paragraphs. And then in your conclusion, you say, right, I've looked at all the evidence. This is my definite answer to the question. So yes, our conclusion is going to revisit the themes that we've looked at already in our essay. And the difference is it's going to be much more assertive, much more confident. Okay, so the first thing we did when we started talking about this essay was think fundamentally, what is your answer to the question? We had three options. Is he likable? Is he unlikable? Does he change across the novel? And I think we thought that the third one was the most likely, that he changes across the novel. We also looked at some key concepts. So he teaches us, he warns us, he criticises about capitalism and individualism being immoral, that people should be benevolent capitalists to support their communities, that greed and selfishness is dangerous, and that transformation is possible. So we looked at that in an earlier video. Right, let's put all this together. Now, I really love starting a conclusion with the word ultimately. You could go to conclude, finally, at the end of the day is something that one of my students likes to use. But anyway, I like ultimately. So ultimately, Dickens's allegorical novella shows how Scrooge metamorphoses from being unlikable to being a role model for change. Whereas at the start of the novella, he was an avaricious miser. By the end, he becomes generous. Therefore, even though Dickens warns us about the problems caused by individualist capitalism, he also suggests there is hope for a fairer future. So I've answered the question, and then I've got my key concept, and that is it. That's all we need for our conclusion. Okay, so happy writing, enjoy writing your own essays. You can see there I've highlighted in yellow the sentence starters that I've used here, so you can apply that to your own work as well. And thank you very much for watching.